Welcome to the world of Harthron. My name is Bill Hart. I am the main DM in the world of Harthron, and I would just like to introduce a new segment that I thought of doing called Monday Evening Armchair DM, behind the DM screen. So I will take this down, and what I plan to do on these Monday evenings is recap the games that I DM'd over the weekend, kind of give an insight of some of my thoughts, what happened in the game, some of my tips and tricks, and if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. Subscribe to my channel, and ask questions in the comments below, and I promise I will get back to everyone and go from there. So, first Saturday's game was in the Terran campaign. The characters, we just converted them over from 3.5 to 5e. This was our first session with those characters in 5e. We test played 5e a couple sessions with some new characters, and from there we decided let's go ahead and move to 5e. And so this was the first adventure going into 5e with these characters. They had just freed dwarves, and the players were concerned switching to 5e, trying to free those characters, and they did a lot of planning to do this, to free those dwarves without losing any characters themselves, and really any bloodshed other than a bugbear guard that they took out. Other than that, there was no bloodshed in that adventure. So they freed the dwarves at 3.5, and the decision was made that we would go to 5e the very next session on the way to returning the dwarves home to Sunter Hold. So did a lot of conversion. I've had some DMs, friends of mine, helping out, trying to convert a couple complicated characters. One, Rafik, is a Djinn in 3.5, and of course there is no Djinn in 5e. So we're actually making him a half Djinn, and we're working on balancing what that character is going to be. We're going to kind of go off the Warlock class, and actually my friends, the other DMs that are helping us, that actually converted their game last year, they suggest, and they're actually building along with myself, we're starting to build a Djinn Pact patron for 5e for this character. So we kind of had to let him off to the side. Vega was a beguiler in 3.5, and we've made her a bard, and we created a bard variant, using the beguiler college, and that character will come more into play in the future sessions. And then Cass, our wizard, but he had a flair for undead and a flair really kind of all over the map. We're trying to figure him out. This last session, we just had him straight as a wizard, and figured he'd be in a support role. Like Vega, too. They were more in support roles. The true stars of this last game was Garthur, Dwarven Fighter, and he should be. The freed dwarves are bringing the dwarves back home, and so it's a good time for Garthur to shine as a character. And then Fumo, with the role playing that he did, and he is a warlock as well. It was easy for him to convert. He was a warlock 3.5, going over to 5e was not a big deal at all. Overall, the session was great. I think we did a lot of role playing. They got to really understand a little bit of the dwarves. I was hoping I would kind of get that feel of the dwarves for the players to kind of come across that, they're in shock coming out of basically being in prison for 3 years, being tormented by, fire giants, hill giants, some ogres, as well as their bugbear guards and orc guards that were down in this forge, this fire giant forge. And so I wanted them to have that kind of prisoner of war feeling. And I hope I came across with that with the players. I think I did. And then also I just wanted to get a combat session in. Our session ran longer than I would like to. I normally want to be about 3 hours, 3.5. We ran about almost close to 4.5 hour session. But I thought it was really important to get that combat in. And with that, I get the mountain trolls. And so I switched up the version of the trolls. One, they're not near swamps. And so I was like, oh, let's think of something that I could, make a little tougher for this group. This group is tough, but not too. I didn't want to make it too tough because we're new into combat with 5e, and we're still getting used to the rules and such. So I thought, well, why don't I make some mountain trolls? So all I did was really just increase their AC up a couple points to AC 17 to make them a little tougher, a little more hardier. Kept the same hit points and saving throws and damage and everything. But I thought it'd be fitting having with the dwarves being in the group that, what better encounter at the end, a little roaming encounter before they get home to Sunderhold, have mountain trolls as their encounter. And that went well. I thought the fighters shined well. Fumo did a great job. Mardor did a good job. Loved the idea with medicine check to kind of really use that as a check, a die roll check, to determine where maybe somebody is at health wise, and thought that would be a good use. He came up with the idea, and we just rolled with it from there, and so it went well. We will be taking a 2-week break from the group. Be going up to Duluth next Saturday, or this weekend actually coming up, running Grandma's Marathon, and then the following weekend I have a wedding to attend on the Saturday. So we will not be back for the Terran campaign, where they finally will arrive to Sunderhold and meet this really dwarven city, and then we'll go from there and see where the group's gonna go next. I have some ideas, but I want that to kind of play out, and we'll see what they do. But I'm ready for whatever direction they're gonna go. We'll be fine. And for the Ganor Empire, that we are in, I believe that was our 3rd or 4th session with that group, and they now have taken, they took the prisoner, the gladiator, Kato, and returned him back to the governor. And then we had the introduction of a new character, JD's rogue, that's joined the group, a wood elf that has joined the group, and I thought he did an okay job bringing him into the game. I didn't read his background before. It was a little last minute planning with him. He's been wanting to play with us, but with work, he's been delayed joining the group. But I love the tension between the dwarves and the elves. I believe that will go away after time. It's perfect, though, these first couple sessions where the dwarves and elves are kind of going back at each other. But they serve one purpose. The city is Starmoon, with the majority of the group working for one of the Iron Legion, or one of the legions of the Ganor Empire, and then with the new wood elf who belongs to part of the city militia. I believe that session was really good as well. Did a lot of role playing, got their prisoner back. There's a lot of paranoia. They thought for sure he was going to get freed, that somebody was going to attack the wagon, or even the night before they was going to, do a prison break. None of that happened. It wasn't the plan, but I love the mystery that they, kept thinking something's going to happen. And I made them make some perception checks when they were checking, which they're diligent about checking, but made them make the die rolls just so they're still off their feet. If you don't add that element of, the what if and just let it go through, well, it takes part of the enjoyment of the game away. So even though I knew no one was following them, no one was watching, make the players make the roll so they believe maybe there is, somebody out there, and but there was no one. And now the group made it back. Got hit by some goblins. A little pact of 6 goblins. Just a little combat for the group for the session. And now they've made their way to the farm and to this campsite. And so, same thing. We are taking a break this weekend. Coming up, I will be returning from Duluth. And then next Sunday we will play, and they will go ahead and hit this goblin campsite, and we will see what happens next. One of my recommendations for DMs, if you're not doing this, I would recommend highly to record your sessions, whether you show it on video or not, or it's not even has to be video, but if you just record audio, it helps so you can go back to listen to your session and not one, help catch up maybe on some details you might not have wrote down taking notes. I'm a pretty good note taker, but sometimes I do forget to take a note on something, even minor. And then the characters will come up and they'll bring a detail up that I'll completely have forgotten about. And so now with recording, I can go back and watch, listen to, or even watch, my video. And if I might have said something, or I need to note something that I didn't write down, I can put it down. With the Terran campaign, all those NPCs, everything there was all written up, everything was ready. So, and they didn't sidetrack off to meet another NPC. I would have been ready, and ad lib if necessary. It would have been great having the recording where I could capture those details later. But I would think the most important thing is listening to your session and experience, rewarding your players for role-playing experience, maybe a key detail in combat. And I've learned that is valuable with the recording, because I was able to go back now, these last couple sessions, even though these are the first recordings that we put out online. I've done some others trying to test and get the sound right, and I do apologize for the Terran group. The sound came in bad with it echoing, and I think because we had 2 people on Skype, and we had issues even hearing them, and then we worked that all out in the Sunday session with Ganor. So now for future, I won't have the Skype going on our recording, and just have the Skype in the background, because that worked perfect Sunday. And so in the future we'll do that. And then I wanted it for another camera angle, but I'll figure out how to get another camera angle for the figures. I like that. I like having players, when I watch something online or really listen to, but the ones that use miniatures, when they're having the miniatures out, I usually do click just to even see the battle on board and see the figures, the detail of the maps. Critical Role does a great job of that, where I'll actually look at the design of whatever Matt has come up with, or his critters are sent them, and I'm always amazed with some of his layouts, especially late in the videos. I won't give any spoilers away, but I love the detail that I'm seeing in his game, and then I just listen. But it's really helped with experience. I was able to go back this last session and you know, rewarding, just not role playing, but even comical parts of the game where a player makes, everybody laugh at the table. And that's the key. That's the one of the fun parts of the game is the laughter, the goofiness that happens. And so I'm making sure that I'm rewarding that experience and not forgetting about maybe some minor, a minor spell that's really key. I mean, the Wall of Force, and I'm sorry if you haven't watched the video yet, but that Wall of Force that Cass casted around Flamezor saved Flamezor's life. And I mean, so, rewarding experience for that, other than just go, oh, okay, yep, he cast that spell, I wrote that down on the note, you know, and okay, I give him 100 experience points for casting the spell. But then you go back and watch it and go, that is so key, saving that character's life. That's worth more than 100 experience points, right? You save somebody. I mean, Flamezor would have kept going, and maybe Mardor gets to him and heals him in time, anyways. But with Cass doing that and sacrificing, himself, to maybe doing another spell, something damaging to the trolls, giving himself a chance for glory. Instead, he saves a character from dying, and I think that was important. And listening back to that was great. So I've rambled on enough. I'm going to go ahead and end the session here. And in 2 weeks, I will be back. Our group will be back playing, and I will do another session of Monday evening armchair DM behind the DM screen. I came up with the name. I love football, and you always hear about these Monday morning armchair quarterbacks that think, oh, what if you did this, or what if somebody did that. So I thought, why don't I just come up with that title? I love football. So if you have any questions, like I said, please subscribe, like, give comments or feedback, as well as ask questions. I have 39 years of experience in DMing and game mastering other games. However, now I just really concentrate on Dungeons and Dragons, have really for the last probably 20 years, and don't play any other role-playing games like I used to. And have a great week, and have great gaming sessions out there, and please continue to watch us. It be fun, watching our adventures unfold. And that is it. World of Harthron, Bill Hart, signing out.